summer of '69, I joined the Marine Corps. My name is Tracy Holler, and I'm Lana's grandfather. I just graduated from Mitchell College in '68, and I didn't want to go into any more school after that, so I started working. And we had a draft going on at that time.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight I want to talk to you on a subject of deep concern to all Americans and to many people in all parts of the world, the war in Vietnam.
Everybody had to go get examined. If you passed the medical exam, then they made you ready for the draft. So at that time, I wasn't able to pass the draft, so I had to lose a lot of weight. And I joined the Marine Corps in the summer of '69. I was just getting ready to turn 21 when I joined. Well, for me, joining the Marine Corps was kind of like a test of manhood. And going to Paris Island in the summer of '69 was a lot like what you saw in that movie, Full Metal Jacket. It was for me even more difficult. It was like a cross between a prison and an insane asylum. And I was just glad I was able to make it through. At that time, the country was torn up about the war. We'd been over there for a while, and there were people who didn't, even Vietnam vets were saying, we shouldn't be there. And I just knew that I had that 2-year obligation because of the draft. And so I was just going to do what I was supposed to do. Well, when we first arrived in Vietnam, we'd had to stop in Okinawa on the way. And there you'd catch another flight to Vietnam. And when I first arrived in Vietnam, it was a little scary. You didn't know what to expect. But they didn't just stick you right out. At least they didn't do us that way. They didn't just stick you right out in the bush. We went to a little place called Cao Ha. And it was just like a beach area with white sandy beaches all over the place. And we'd go on little short patrols around. And they started us off kind of slow. I was assigned to Fox Company 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines when I first arrived. And one of the guys that I was with, Mike Perdue, we went through boot camp together. We were in the same outfit over there. And we got separated whenever I got medevac for malaria. He got sent to 1-5, and I got sent to 3-5 when I got back. So I still kept up with him whenever we got back, but that's what separated us. We were just about through with our tour when the 7th Marines was pulled out. The hardest thing, I guess, all we ever talked about was food. You dreamed about food. You had people send you stuff from home. People sent care packages, which we would all share. But the heat, you're hot and wet all the time. We walked rice paddies, we cut our way through the jungle, we climbed mountains, and you were always carrying a big load. And you were tired and sleepy all the time because after you'd been on patrol all day, you'd go out on a night ambush at night and have to stand watch and stuff. So you were tired all the time. Well, in the daytime, we spent most of our time in the bush. We'd come in about every 30 days and get a bath and some resupply and stuff. But when you're out in the bush, you'd usually go out on patrol, or you'd stand and hold watch, or at night you would have to go out on an ambush or a 3-man kill team. I only know one North Vietnamese soldier that I killed. We were going down a mountain and we were taking North Vietnamese base camps as we went. And the next morning, we got to one after dark, and the next morning, whenever we were, the colonel wanted to come and see it, we were going to clear off an LZ so that the helicopters could come in. And I was part of the LZ security. And I saw a North Vietnamese soldier just walking just walking around like he didn't, like we weren't there. And I took off after him. I ran up behind him, and just as the bushes closed behind him, I fired 3 shots from my hip. And I dropped down and I crawled to the edge of the hill, and he was laying down at the bottom. And that's the only one, I guess that's the closest I ever saw in North Vietnamese. The only one I can say I killed. Mike Perdue was over there with me. He sent me a NVA belt buckle a couple months ago to commemorate my 1 kill. The worst thing I saw, I don't know, it's hard to pinpoint the one worst thing because it was not uncommon to be on patrol and come across a fully clothed skeleton on the trail or a dead decomposing body. We come out on a little hill one time, and off in the distance on a little bald knob we saw 2 bodies laying side by side, a man and a woman, just face up. They were naked and dead. And that was weird. I've always remembered that. I wrote a lot of letters home to my mom and my family. I hadn't met my wife at that time, your grandma. I think it was easier for me because I didn't have anybody waiting for me other than my family. I saw guys that had Dear John letters from their wives and stuff, but I didn't have to worry about that. My mom saved all my letters, and sometimes whenever I can't really remember stuff well, I can go back and read those old letters. But now anymore, I just kind of remember bits and pieces. I would send my brother plants and dirt and some of the military payment script they give us to spend over there instead of greenbacks. And any other weird money that we might have, I would send to him, but it's all been lost over the years. All I can say is I was lucky. I went on so many patrols and ambushes, and I was standing close to guys who either got hit in a booby trap or got hit or something. But I was lucky. I never got a scratch. The only thing that got me medevac was catching malaria. Probably the scariest time was when my squad had to go out in their rice paddy and get this other squad out of the rice paddy that got pinned down. And I was operating a grenade launcher at the time, and I fired every round I had. And actually, that's the only time in Vietnam I actually saw bullets hitting close to me. Our own people told us it might not be safe for us to wear our ribbons home because of the war protesters. But I did it anyway, because I figured I wasn't going to get to wear them that much. I'd only signed up for 2 years, my draft obligation. Everybody, all males anyway, that when they turned 18, they had a 2-year military obligation with the draft. And that's all I joined for was the 2 years. I just know that I didn't ever feel like I was fighting so much for my country as I was for South Vietnam. I just got the service medals. I didn't do anything brave. I didn't get wounded. I just did my time like the majority of people. And I was involved in some firefights and stuff, but it was just part of the job. Yeah, I got released early from the Marine Corps to join the Statesville Police Department, and then I went from there to the Highway Patrol. The only thing I can tell anybody is no movie or book is going to tell you what to expect. You're just going to have to feel it for yourself firsthand and deal with it. Sometimes I think that something's wrong with me because I don't feel like I have the post-traumatic stress or anything. I put it behind me, and I went on with my life when I got home. It was an adventure, and I liked that. I'd never been anywhere or done anything, and it was my big adventure in life, and I always look back on that with pleasure.